y'all, how's everyone doing? I hope y'all are doing well. Um, I'm just going to be doing an unboxing and getting ready at the same time. And I forgot my coffee. I must love y'all a lot because it's across the room and I'm very tempted to go get it. But anyway, also I just realized I need to kind of, it's when you get under big bright lights like this that you realize, oh, I overdid it on the blush a little bit today. Actually, this is a bronzer, that Atelier bronzer that I've been using because I'm thinking, you paid a lot of money for that. You need to use it. But I just, I hate when I pay a lot of money for something and I realize it's not that it's not a good product. It's just, there's other products, and y'all have learned this through the years too, as we look at some of the drugstore brands and the grocery store brands that you can get, that they're just as good. And today is probably going to be a good example of that because I ordered a Dior palette and I'm feeling like, I'm not going to return this, but I feel like the palette looks just like half of my Maybelline, L'Oreal, and whatever palettes that I have. It's interesting to me, it came in a baggie. I've never seen them do that before, and I don't know if that's a COVID-19 thing or if they're just picking tickets from a warehouse and they pull it from a baggie. That's sometimes, when I was younger, I worked in a jewelry warehouse and they would just pick tickets. But anyway, so here it is. It's the 5 Couleurs Couture. I don't know if you can see that because of the glare. And this is from Dior, and it's palette number 599. It has suggested, this is interesting, it has suggested, oh, I can see what it is now. It's showing, okay, so here's the packaging. It's showing the brush on the inside, because I thought, is it suggesting certain brushes for this palette? I've never seen that. But again, this is $5.99 is the palette number, and it's called New Look. Okay, here's the thing about Dior. This used to be dome shaped. It's flat now. It used to have a like a deep royal navy blue undertone that shone through that dome shape, and this is just now flat black. And it's got a Christian Dior bar this way. So they've changed their packaging. It looks elegant, but I think what I liked about Dior was it was different. Everybody switches to black. Okay, this is what the little side thing, on the side of the box, it shows how to use these little brushes. So let's just use these little brushes. Let's do it the way they say to. I was going to use my brushes, but let's just use what it comes with. Okay, first of all, you're like, Beth, can we see the palette? There's the palette. It's beautiful. It's just that it's kind of common. I mean, I don't know why I thought this would be so unique, except that maybe I just wanted a new Dior palette, and try not to make the mirror shine in your face and pull it back to my face because I found that actually focuses better. This is definitely cool tone, neutral, warm. Maybe at the most there's a slight green undertone to this brown, but it's just a dark brown. This has a slight burgundy undertone to this brown, but it's a brown. And it's, got a weave pattern on it and the Dior stamp, which will go away almost immediately. It's got a champagne frost for highlight. It's got what I would say a shimmer. Really, these frosts are shimmers. They're not sparkle or glitters. Of this kind of chestnut brown. Then there is a very nice sateen or satin, kind of neutral, I'd say goldy taupe color here. And then this, like I said, is more of a red brown that you could use, and this is more of a dark brown that you can mainly use for lining. So let's just get started. And let's do it the way they say. And let's see what they say. Okay, so use the wide sponge applicator for an all-over lid. Okay, and I think that means for this color right here. So we're going to go all over, and I'm going to put the highlighter color right next to my lash line, and that just kind of wakes up the eye. Also with this definitely looks good under the brow because why? It's a highlighter, and so it kind of helps shape the brow for one thing. And then also the inner tear duct, which kind of wakes up the eye. So this has got a highlighter shimmer effect. Y'all, there's actually glitter fallout happening here. So I was wrong about this not being glittery. It is. And it doesn't have much pigment. So this must be something that you would not do what I'm doing. You should have already put on maybe a cream color base and then put this on top of it. I don't know. Depends on how much pigment you like as well. Because this isn't as much about pigment as it is about sparkle. So I'm going just up and down on the inner tear duct, and that gets the top and the bottom of the lid. And I feel like there's almost no color to this. This is almost purely sparkle. It's got a little bit of a champagne color, but it's very pretty. Very, very pretty. And we'll stop at that. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to do what they say. All right, now use the sponge applicator to draw a precise line. Blend brush, buff and blend for the fat brush. And sculpt a crease with the angled brush. Okay. So that means we're going to use this for our transition color, which I would think would be one of these two. I'm going to start with this. Here's the thing. It doesn't always look on your skin like it does in the pan. So let's just see. Is this shimmery and glittery, and is it super dark, or is it a good transition? Transition colors almost always need to be matte, but I mean, I've often used non-matte. And the reason for that is it's right, you're going to bring it all the way down to right here where my brush is. And as you get older, that pooches on, ladies. Okay, so you don't want to highlight a pooch, right? It's just like you wouldn't want to highlight a pooch in your clothing with a poochy belly. You don't want to highlight a pooch anywhere. And so we're going right up to under the brow, right to the front of the brow like that, and then bringing it down. And I'm going right up to where we just did the highlighter, because the point of this is to blend the two so that this isn't an actual line under the brow, but just like a highlighted area under the brow. And one of the ways that you make that look that way is to blend your this color that is above the crease going up to the brow, right here, up to the brow, and then just pull down and then kind of dust back and forth across it. And what that does is just kind of gets rid of the line. And if you want to do that even more, you could flip this over to the other side and just brush it even more, because there's nothing on it, and that'll just kind of, blend down some of the color and help blend it out. Okay, so that is, now, again, for some people, this would be their look for the day. They've got a little highlighter on the lid and under the brow in the inner corner, and they've got this nice transition color that goes from under the brow all the way down. And, it's, it's enough. For me, I always like a little bit of drama. So what I'm going to do is turn this down, or this around. They said that this angled brush is to be used for the crease. So I'm going to go to this middle color that's got almost a red to it, but it's a brown. It's a dark brown, but it almost has like a burgundy color. And since I'm wearing burgundy today, that would look just fine. It's burgundy, kind of a plum I'm wearing. And I'm just going to go in the crease just like it says, and just go back and forth windshield wiper motions with this angled brush. And what that does is the butt of the brush, it is good to use an angled brush, because the butt of it, which is the short end of it right on this side, is going to be more intense. It's going to be more tightly packed, and then the end of it's longer and it fans out. And so when you put the butt of it right in the crease, the darker color's in the crease, and the fanning out is fanning into that transition color. And I'm just going to bring it in on the ends a little bit. And see, all that did, if you look at the difference in this eye and this eye, this one's just a tad more dramatic in the sense that there is a color that is providing depth. And so if you don't want that to be so dark, then use this, the blender again, and just knock some of that back down. Just blend that out a little bit. And then the two colors are a little more similar, and it's not so dramatic. Okay, I'm going to do that again on this other side. Just barely loading this brush, by the way. This is very, one thing I will say, this is very pigmented, as you can see. It is hard to kind of hold on to this brush because it's so little, but if you just had this in your case, you know, your purse or something, or if you're traveling, you could use these. It's just harder. You could use these same brushes with a little bit longer stick, and it'd be, you know, the wand of the brush, and it'd be a lot more helpful. Okay, again, that's much more dramatic, so I'm going to flip it to the other side and just kind of bring that down, that transition color down, which dusts that out a little bit, and it's just not so dramatic. Underneath the eyes, I have a liner already on that was from Charlotte Tilbury. It was a black, it was one of her color chameleons, and it's, I forgot the name of it, but it's like a charcoal color. But I'm going to go ahead and use, actually I'm going to use this color I just used instead of, you can use this for a liner, but I'm just going to use this with this pointed end of the sponge applicator. And just connect right there so that the color connects to the lower lid as well, and just drag it right underneath. Just to make the colors come together. Again, right here on the edge, where there typically is the shadow doesn't make it, and just bring it, oops, bring it on under the lashes. Like that. And that just kind of brings the color above and below together. So, what do I think of this? I do think it's excellent pigment. I really do. And I actually do like this palette a lot because it's got the cool tone in the middle. Again, what I would say about that champagne color is it's almost pure sparkle. I wish it had a little more substance to it as far as the white or champagne color. But it's more of a sparkle. So, but that's okay. And again, it's got its little place for its little brush and sponge applicator set. I'm going to put this back on to protect the palette because I have found Dior palettes are so creamy, which may be why they're so pigmented, that they tend to crumb really bad. So it's a plus and a minus. Now I'm going to get a, let's get a nice clean blending brush and a cloth. I do have a little bit of fallout, not too bad. I don't know if y'all can see the fallout, but